Hey everyone. Okay, so yeah, this chapter jumps straight into telling us the tragedy of Esperia Kingdom, that it started with a cloud of mist that destroyed all the country's instruments, and then following the death of the Queen, the country was plunged into a war against the world government itself. And yeah, a couple things right out of the gate. First, that mist was way too convenient and specific to be a natural phenomenon. The fact that it targeted the country's source of revenue, to me, screams chemical weapon. And given how we see Shuri much later in the chapter possessed and killing her father, like, again, it's going to sound a little conspiratorial, but everything just fits way too neatly into place for that inciting incident to be merely a coincidence. That was manufactured, and you cannot convince me otherwise. In saying that, if I did have one critique right out of the gate with this chapter, I do feel like I go to kind of speedrun Candel's death a little bit. Maybe it's just me setting my expectation too high of what we could have learned about her, but I don't know. It feels like her life was cut short before we could have actually learned anything substantial about who she was. Then again, Oda does love post-mortem character revelations, so I'm sure he's still got something up his sleeve when it comes time to reveal more about Kandel and Shuri. In saying that, the stuff we do get with Kandel and Brook is still great, as it really does show how much of an influence Kandel was on Brook's growth into the person who'd become as an adult, and in showing how much being this joyful personality means to him, yet also how much sadness there is behind that joy with let's be honest, how much he's emotionally suffered seeing the people he committed to protecting die right in front of him. Which I know I'm sounding like a broken record just by saying this, but once again, it's a testament to how absolutely warped and depraved the government is. Like the moment Esperia makes makes it through the crisis with the mist, they're forced to either become a slave nation to the world government or die fighting in a war against the government itself. And again, going off my previous point, it's probably exactly how the government wanted this to play out. Like there's no scenario where I believe this wasn't in some way manufactured by the government. The question still lingering in the air though is why? Why was Esperia targeted, and what makes Shuri such a valuable piece on that in this puzzle? Like that's the one thing that the pretty much still needs an answer as to why as to why the government didn't like just pretty much kill Shuri like they did with her father kind of thing. Um, Circling back to Brook though, like this chapter really does go out of its way to show how committed he was to Shuri, and one one scene that really sticks out to me now is the moment where we see Brook kind of training Shuri, because now knowing he was Kandel's squire, it does add a very nice through line of why he felt so committed to protecting her, because for Brook, it was his way of repaying Kandel's kindness, and how he truly feels indebted to Asperia's royal family for saving his life. Like, Shuri was his way of repaying that kindness, which does make what's going on in the present all the more difficult to predict, because while on one hand, this chapter should give a clear, open and shut case for wanting to save Shuri from Imu's control, I can't help but re- actually think it reinforces the idea that killing her is actually a bit more of the merciful route to go, as saving her is going to force Shuri to reconcile with the fact that she killed her family, and that she really has no family left aside from Brook. And while that should be enough, like there's always that reinforcement in Oda's story about found family. So while in normal cases that should be enough, in this particular case, there's going to be some very deep emotional scars on Shuri's psyche if she's basically saved, if she's saved from Imu's control. Whereas by killing her, it not only puts the tragedy of Esperia to rest, but I feel for Brook, it's the only way he'll truly be like he'll be able to let go and be free of the current of the spirit of the shadows, like the tragedy of spirit cast over his whole over over his past, and just how much it haunts, how what happened there still haunts him today. But the most and regard but regardless of what decision he makes, like Brook needs to move on. He needs to let go of that burden and regret he's been carrying his whole life, because if he doesn't, it's just going to continue to destroy him over and over and over again. Like there's no the biggest thing about this chapter is Brook for me is someone who just is continuous, even though he never shows it. He's someone who's continuously grasping onto the past, in no matter what form that takes, whether it's the rum bar pirates or with or with what happened with Esperia. And Esperia especially is a part of his past he needs to let go of. He needs to move on from this. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to just break him emotionally. He needs to just let it go. It happened. He needs to obviously reconcile with his failure, but he needs to let go of what happened. It's just gonna keep breaking him again and again and again. If it's gonna keep breaking him again and again and again with him, and until there's nothing left of him emotionally. I know what I'm saying sounds like maybe a little harsh, but in this case, letting go is what's going to save Brook in a way. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe if you're on Blue Sky, Analyst Crunchyroll, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight Renee signing off. Later, everyone.